Hey guys, welcome back to the sewing version of this tutorial. So in my last video we drafted out a pattern for this corset top that has a Basque effect. So in this video we are going to be sewing the top. So if you've not seen the pattern drafting video, I'm going to leave the link down in the description box. Go ahead and watch it and it will help you understand this tutorial better. So I went ahead to use my pattern to cut out my fabric and I added seam allowance all the way around. So I have my cup, my side front, my center front and my back piece, and you can see the sewing allowance that I left on all sides. So let's talk about the back. For the back, I went ahead to cut out two lining and I also have two pieces of the main fabric and I added my seam allowance. And for the side front, I also went ahead to cut out two lining piece and two fabric. And this is my center front. Make sure your center front is on fold. I increased my center front by 3.5 inches. Remember, this top has a Basque effect, so I'm going to use the 3.5 inch to create my Basque effect. So I increased it by 3 inches and is on fold. I have one piece of lining and one piece of the main fabric. So these are my cups. I have two pieces for each of the cups and two lining piece for each of the cup. So the first thing I'll do is to remove my pattern from my fabric for the cups. So I'm going to place my cup on each other and I'm going to sew. So what I'll do is to use my pattern to know the cups that goes on each other, right sides facing each other. I'll place it on it. So make sure you have your pattern paper close to you so that you know which goes where, so you don't go and sew the wrong cup together. So I'll pin like this, just like you see me doing, right sides facing each other, and then I'll go sew. After sewing my cups together, this is what I have. You can see that is taking shape. So whatever you do for the main fabric, go ahead and do it for your lining fabric. So this is what my cup looks like. So if you pin the right cup to the other side, this is what you should have. And this is my lining piece. I also repeated the same thing that I did for the main fabric. I did it for the lining as well. So what I'll do next is to bring my center front and my side front. So I'm going to remove my pattern paper. So I'll open my center front like this and then I'll place my two side fronts on the center front, right sides facing each other, and then I'll go sew on a straight line. I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing that I did for the main fabric on the lining piece. And yeah, after sewing, this is what I have for the main piece and this is what I also have for my lining fabric. For this tutorial, I don't have a ready-made cup for this corset top. So what I'll do is to use my wadding to cut out my cup. So on my pattern paper, I'm going to cut out this circle, this line. So the circle we created while drafting out our pattern, I'll go ahead and cut this part out. So I'm going to use these two parts to cut out a wadding for my cup. So I'll bring my wadding like this and then I'll fold it into two. I'll place my pattern paper on it and I'll trace out what I have. So I didn't add stitching allowance to it and my cup became small, so please add stitching allowance all the way around. I'll cut out like this and then I'll go ahead and use my pattern paper to figure out which goes where. So please make sure that you are placing the right cup on each other, just like you see me using my pattern paper. So I'll use my pattern paper to know which cup goes where is the up and where is the down. Make sure you don't join the two wrong cup together. So what I'll do is to place one on each other like this. So this is why it's important to add a stitching allowance. I'll use my gather stitch to sew on a straight line like this. Let me sew it and I'll come back and show you guys what I mean. So after sewing, this is what I have. I'll trim out the excess on the other side and these are my two cups. So make sure that you use your pattern paper to know which goes where. This is very important. So I'm using my pattern paper to know which of this cup is going to the right side and which one is going to the left side. I'll bring out my cup like this, and I'll go ahead and place it inside. So this part can be very tricky. Just take your time and do it. If you don't attach the cup to where it's supposed to be, it's not going to sit well on your body. I don't know how else to explain this, but just look at what I'm doing, you will understand. So I'll place the shiny part of the wording. That's where I'm going to place on my fabric, the shiny parts, and then I'm going to iron it out. So I'm going to use my tailor's arm to iron it out. I have a tutorial on how to make a tailor's arm on my channel. I'll link it below. So I'll place it like this. Remember, the shiny part of this wording is where I placed my fabric. So I'm going to place my cup on the tailor's arm like this, and I'm going to iron. So after ironing, you see that the wording will stick to the fabric. So after ironing my cup in place, this is what I have. The wording has stick to my fabric, and what I'll do next is to create my back effect. So this is the front part. I'll fold it like this into two equal parts, and what I'll do is to indicate my waist area with a chalk, just like you see me doing, and then I'll slant from that part to meet the other part there, just like what you see me doing, and I'll go ahead and cut. So I already have my back effect. I'll do the same thing for my lining piece, and yeah, this is how to create your back effect for this top. What I'll do next is to create my boning casing for this top. So I'll use my bias to create the boning casing. So make sure whatever you're using to create your boning casing is enough for your boning to pass through. So I'll put one on the middle part, and I'll put two on the two darts area. I'll go ahead and sew. So I don't want my cup to be plain just like it is right now, so I'll use the bias also to create a form of design on it. So on the side I came down by 3 inches, on the middle part I came down by 2 inches, and the other side I also came down by 2 inches. So after sewing my boning casing in place, this is what I have. This is the back. You can see that it's neat, and this is the front. So the next thing I'll do is to attach my cup to this cup area. So I'll start pinning from the middle part. I'll pin all the way around. So I've pinned one of the cup in place, and this is what I have. So if you take your time to pin well, this is what you should have. There is no excess on any area. So I'll go ahead and pin the other cup. After pinning, I'll go and sew all the way around. I've gone ahead to sew my cup, and this is what the inside is looking like, and this is the outside. This is what I have. You can see that everything is coming together. This is my back piece. What I'll do is to remove my pin. I'll indicate my dart by giving it a notch, and I'll go ahead and sew my dart in place. After sewing my dart in place, this is what I have. Next thing I'll do is to join my front and my back piece together. So I'll place my back piece on my front piece, right side facing each other, and then I'll use my basic bodice measurement to join it. What I'll do is to place my zip allowance on each other, and I'll pin it. And for the sides, I'll place my bust measurement and my waist measurement, and then I'll use that to join both the front and the back together. everything I'm doing on this main fabric, I'll make sure I do the same thing on my lining. Don't forget that. So after sewing, this is what I have. So the next thing I'll do is to bring my lining. You can see that my lining is all sewn the same way that my main fabric is. So I'm going to place my lining on my fabric, right sides facing each other, and then I'll go and pin the upper part. I'll go ahead and pin the upper part all the way around. So I've gone ahead to pin, and this is what I have. So what I'll do is to sew like this from the armhole area. I'll ignore the shoulder area because I'm going to join the two shoulders, so there's no need for me to sew. So I'll sew all the way around except the shoulders. I'll not sew the shoulders close because that's where I'll use to turn it over. So after sewing, I'll go ahead and notch all the way around just like you see me doing. After notching, I'll turn it inside out and I'll show you guys what it looks. So I'm turning it through the shoulders. That's why I did not close the shoulder area. So after turning it inside out, this is what I have. So what I'll do next before sewing the base of my top is to put my boning in my boning casing. So I'll measure what I have on the boning casing and I'll reduce it by half an inch. You can reduce it by 1 inch, it depends on you, but make sure it's smaller than your boning casing so that you'll be able to sew your lining and your main fabric together. So I'll push my boning in. I'll repeat the same thing for the two other boning casing. I'll reduce it by half an inch. I'll use my lighter to conceal the edge of the boning, and then I'll push it inside the boning casing. So what I'll do next after putting my boning in my boning casing is to sew the base of my top. So I'll place it right side facing each other. I'll go ahead and pin all the way around and then I'll sew. After sewing, I'll go ahead and turn it inside out through the side seam, and this is what I have. So what I'll do next is to trim out this excess lining that we have on the zipper area just like this, and then I'll fold the zipper area. I'll fold it inside to conceal the rough edges. I'll go ahead and sew, and then I'll attach my zip and I'll join my sleeves together on the shoulder area. So after sewing my zip and my shoulder area in place, this is what we have. Look at the inside, it's all nice and clean. And yeah, this brings us to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, don't just watch, like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you're not a subscriber. If you get to try it out, let me know how yours came out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.